What's up, boys? Here for the Week 10 review. We only got 3 weeks left in the regular season until the playoffs. So best of luck to everybody remaining 3 weeks. I believe there's probably about 8 teams competing to get those 6 playoff spots. So a couple teams will get left out. My team will likely be one of those, but we'll see how it plays out. Before I jump into the review, I decided to look at the one wager that's going on in the league between myself, Dakota, and Orlando, between Austin Eckler and David Montgomery. As long as David Montgomery is active this week, which I'm sure he will be, then our bet will be good to go because Eckler's already played 6 games, and this will be Montgomery's 6th game being active, and that was the threshold we set. And it's based on points averaged. So I did the calculation from week 5 to current date. Eckler's obviously played one more game than Montgomery because he has his bye in week 12. And it is a very close competition currently. Eckler is currently winning the bet for me with 12.23 points. But Montgomery is just behind him at 12.16. So close ass race. And I probably anticipate it continuing that way for the remainder of the season. So we'll see how it goes. Just wanted to give a little update on it because I was obviously myself. I was very curious as to where that stood. Obviously, congrats to those of you who decided to wager on the game last night. I see it was very profitable for a few of you guys. So best of luck. I don't really have the cash flow to be throwing around those big $300 bets like some of you guys can. Can't afford to lose that, but I'm sure the gambling was fun. I'm sure some of you guys were shitting your pants half that game. So we'll start off here with the first matchup between myself and John. John won this one 138-99. I'm looking at my team. Phillip Rivers sucked. David Johnson sucked. Mike Williams, Panthers defense sucked. I mean, other than that, everybody else did pretty well. But per usual for my team, all my guys normally do well. They'll get double digits, but they won't explode. They won't hit those 20-point games. And obviously, we all know that's kind of what you need to win. You need a couple guys to go off to really help your team out. And I didn't have that. David Johnson's frustrating me pretty much. Panthers defense had a tough matchup. So we'll see how that goes. Nothing really on my bench. I did have Jamison Crowder have a nice game. Could have had him in there. Would have only got me potentially 10 more points. So I still would have lost for the week there. Looking over here at John's team, Tannehill got him 19. So both of us had to play a waiver wire quarterback this week, and it worked out for him. I actually beat him on waivers. Paid more for Phillip Rivers than he did, and I was like, yes, I fucking got the guy we both wanted. It's gonna help me, and yep, it didn't fucking help me. Josh Jacobs had 18. Michael Thomas with a big game, even though he couldn't score, with 22. Mark Andrews had 20. Marquise Brown was 16. Double digits out of the Colts defense and the kicker, so that double digit out of the kicker and defense paying off there. Not much going on the bench there. Moving on, next matchup, Fat versus Derek. Another blowout, 148-117. I'm looking at Fat's team. Russell Wilson with 16. McCaffrey with 23. I mean, he's guaranteed 20 points every week, basically. Had Christian Kirk in the lineup, who had the 3-touchdown game. I played him in DraftKings, so I made some money this week there. He had 35. Travis Kelce with 17. Jets defense got him 18. His whole bench is on bye week or hurt. And, outside of Emmanuel Sanders, who got hurt in the game, no real duds in my mind in his lineup. And, that'll always lead to good things. Looking over here at Derek's team, Jared Goff sucked with 4 points. Ronald Jones played well. He had 19. Montgomery was only able to muster 6. Galladay had 13. Landry with 20. 20 points out of the Rams defense. Had a good day out of Greg Olson. Outside of Golf and maybe Montgomery, everybody performed pretty well. Obviously going up against Fat, who I have as the #1 team, is a tough matchup there. So gave it a good effort. Obviously has one of his top receivers out with injury, which doesn't help things. I did have Joe Mixon and McCole Hardman on the bench, who both had double digits, but it wouldn't have been enough to help him out there. Next matchup we got here is one of the closer ones of the week. Well, I guess third closest. Josh beat Garrett here 116-106. Garrett had Mahomes come back, give him 30. So he's finally back to being healthy. Amari Cooper had 26. Garrett had a lot of guys on bye week, a guy with an injury. Didn't want to drop anybody, so he decided to play without a defense, which not sure that's the smartest strategy. I'd also not really sure if any of the defenses would have helped him out there as far as the free agents go. I'm going to go take a look at that right now if I can see. Let's see what it'll show me here. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be that easy to pull up. So, this is not making for a good video. I'm just curious. Titans wouldn't have done it for him. What about the Seahawks? They scored. If he would have picked up the Seahawks and played them, he would have got 17 points and given them the victory. So I don't know who he would have picked up, obviously, if he would have had that choice. I did try to make a trade, get one of his guys on bye week to fill his open receiver spot, which he eventually went with Auden Tate, who got him 5. Obviously had no success there. So tough week. Obviously, if he would have won, he may have had an outside shot making the playoffs. I mean, his playoff hopes are done at this point. Looking over here at Josh's team, Kirk Cousins had a nice game with 19. Aaron Jones, another big game, 27. Tyreek Hill had a big game at 28. I'm kind of kicking myself getting rid of him, given what I got in return. But either way, I guess it probably wouldn't have mattered because one of the guys I traded got hurt anyway. So, it is what it is. Nothing else really going on there to speak of. Poor performances out of both his tight ends. He decided to play 2 of them. Not good performance out of the kicker and the defense, but having two to 3 guys go off really helped him out there. Looking over here, next matchup, we got Michael versus Dalton. Michael won this one pretty easy, 124-98. Dalton had Jameis play well with 18. Chris Carson had 18. Devonta Adams with 15. 14 out of his kicker. Had Matt Ryan on the bench, so he played the right quarterback there. Not a good day out of the Browns defense. Robbie Anderson struggling. Everybody else played all right. I thought Marlon Mack would do better than the 9 points he gave him here, but everybody else probably got on par with what you'd expect. Looking over here at Michael's team, Aaron Rodgers had a rough day, only had 10. They didn't need it with Aaron Jones going nuts. Dalvin Cook had 28. Melvin Gordon had a nice game with 20. 23 out of the Ravens defense. That'll definitely put you in the win column most of the time when your defense is scoring like that. And not much else here. Had Damon Williams on the bench, who had 11. Has Tyler Lockett on his team, who got hurt last night. Not quite sure how long he'll be out. At times I've heard it was serious. Times I heard it wasn't serious. My guess is he's going to be out at least a week or 2. So we'll see how that plays out there. Next matchup, we got the 2 closest matchups of the week. Both of them were about 3-point matchups. First one, we got Garrett, #2, beat Orlando 126-123. Looking at Orlando's team, Josh Allen balled out with 25, had 2 running touchdowns. Chubb had 13. Golden Tate had a nice game with 22. O.J. Howard finally had a good game with 13. Kicker got him 11. Had Dak on the bench with 26, so would have with the decimal points, would only given him a half a point more. So no big difference there. That would have helped him. Nothing on the bench that would have given him the victory there. So nothing you can do about it there. Diggs didn't get double digits. No double digits out of Beckham. Some guys you probably expect to get you double digits. Same with Zeke, only putting up 7. You expect to get more out of your number 1 pick there. Looking at Garrett's team, or Garrett number 2's team, had Breeze and Kamara both with 11. They were supposed to have big days. I played both of them in DraftKings. If I would have subbed them out for some of these other guys who played well, like I would have made a shit ton of money. Instead, I only made like $50 because I spent most of my budget on those two. So it is what it is. I'm a little bitter about it. Looking over here, Derrick Henry, big game, 32 points. Hunter Henry got 11. Steelers defense with 22. Kicker with 14. Those seem to be recipes for victory from what I can see. Ty Johnson in the lineup, not playing well. A.J. Brown with 2. So a couple duds there. And in the last matchup we got here, we have Dakota versus Phillip in the battle of the 2 guys who scored the least amount of points this week. Dakota was able to squeeze this one out, 86-84. Looking at Dakota's team, Lamar Jackson with a huge game. Looked like he was a video game out there with 33 points. Gerald Everett got him 11. And then everybody else had single digits, 9 out of Julio. That's about it. He had some guys injured, some guys on bye week. So, he was throwing guys like Chester Rogers in his lineup. Gus Edwards, some long shots there, and luckily it paid off for him. Looking over here at Phillips' team, Kyler Murray had a nice game with 27. Keenan Allen with 13. Obviously, there's been a lot of discussion about Cooper Kupp only getting 0. Obviously, that's extremely rare. Obviously, you don't bench Cooper Kupp. It is what it is. Crazy shit happens. Austin Hooper got him 10. You look at his bench. If he would have made some better coaching decisions here. Played the Chiefs defense instead of playing the 49ers defense. Obviously, I guess was a little scared of the Seahawks. That cost him 15 total points, which clearly would have given him the win. Had Pascal on the bench, so that was a smart move. Obviously, if you would have put him in, he would have won if you would have put him in over Cooper Kupp, but nobody in their right mind is doing that. Jack Doyle on the bench with 12. Shit. So that would have been 2.2. Been 85, 86. So if he would have played Doyle over Hooper, he still would have lost by 0.2, it looks like. Had Kalen Ballage on the bench as well. And wouldn't have done him any good throwing him in the lineup. So really just that defensive coaching decision there, made the difference there for him. I don't know if I would have made that change or not. Obviously, the 49ers are a much better defense than the Chiefs. But you give the matchups. I don't know where they are ranked. I don't own either one, so it's hard to tell. Obviously, after the fact, I can give one opinion, but beforehand, it's kind of tough there. Obviously, waivers will run tomorrow. Get your waiver claims in. I'm pretty sure. Let me look here. Curious when the trade deadline is. So let's see. Just go. So I know the trade deadline's got to be coming up soon. I think we have a later one than a lot of leagues, though. Let's see. So it looks like we got the trade deadline set for November 22nd. So we're got 10 days to get any trades done. Obviously, I'm trying to get rid of some players on my team. I'm desperate for I'm in clearly in win now mode. I believe if I lose anymore, my chances of making the playoffs probably go out the door. I'm sitting in 8th right now at 5-5. There's 2 other 5-5 teams. I probably lost to both of them. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I've lost a lot of the teams at the top. I do finish the regular season with a couple what should be easier games versus Garrett and Josh, or Garrett and Derek, I believe. But we'll see how it plays out. Everybody's battling, just trying to get in. If I can get in, you never know what can happen. So best of luck to everybody, and see you guys next time.